Micro Four Thirds cameras are small, they're light, and they capture an incredible quality of video. This makes them perfect for filming all of your family home movies. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through how you can play to the advantages of the Micro Four Thirds system, regardless of whether you have an entry-level camera with a kit lens or an expensive camera with a sophisticated lens. I'm going to give you all the tips you need so you can take your family home movies to the next level. So before we do any filming, the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have a couple of batteries fully charged. We want to make sure that we've got lots of memory card space to store everything on. And then we want to switch on our camera and we want to set the resolution to HD. Even if you've got a 4K camera, the benefit of filming HD is it still provides plenty of detail, and it will also allow us to film in various slow motion modes. Once we've done that, we want to switch the little dial on the top of our camera onto video mode. And then we want to set the white balance to auto. We want to set the exposure mode to aperture priority. For focusing, we want AFS or autofocus single, and we want one area autofocus. And then ISO, we can set that to auto. Okay, so now let's move on to lenses. Rather than using lots of different lenses, I would stick with one lens and I would make that a wide angle lens. This will give the advantage of being able to get a wide opening shot, but if you want to get a close-up, it's no problem at all. Just move yourself close to the action and it's done. The lens that I would recommend to you is this one right here. It's the Leica 15mm f1.7. It's a beautiful lens that captures a lovely wide angle, a sharp image and beautiful colours. And that f1.7 aperture means it performs really well even in low light. However, if you're looking to make the most of what you have and you don't really want to buy a new lens, why not go for the kit lens that came with your camera? The kit lenses are always zoom lenses, but you'll find the best low light performance comes when they're at the widest angle. So just make sure you're not tempted to zoom in, use it at its widest setting and move yourself depending whether you want a wide shot or a close-up. Okay, now let's talk about the approach we're going to take to shoot in this video. We should always shoot with our final edit in mind, and with these family home videos, let's keep them nice and short and enjoyable to watch, no more than 5 minutes in length. With that in mind, you want to get lots of shots, lots of variety, but keep all of these individual shots nice and short. Anywhere between 5 and 10 seconds in length is perfect. As I mentioned, it's always good to shoot with an edit in mind, and part of that is the story that you're trying to tell. Every good story always has a strong beginning, middle and end. So when you go out with your family, think about what story you're trying to tell. Recently, I went out with my daughter and 2 of her cousins, and we went out to a local marina to see a boat coming with Santa on it. The beginning of the story I was trying to capture was the children arriving at the marina and waiting for the boat. The middle was when they got on the boat, they met Santa. And the end of this little story was as the boat pulled back into the marina, the children said goodbye to Santa and got off the boat ready to go head home. Now let's talk about the practical side of shooting this video. As I mentioned earlier, I recommended having your camera on aperture priority mode. What you need to do is open that lens to let in as much light as possible. This means setting the number to the lowest possible figure you can with the particular lens you have attached. The benefit of this is you're going to get lovely cinematic results and you're going to get the best possible performance in low light. Let's talk a little bit now about autofocus. I mentioned earlier that you should set your camera to AFS mode with one area autofocus. You want to make sure that the little crosshair, the little box on your screen, is right in the middle. And then when you're ready to shoot a shot, put whatever you want to be in focus in the middle of your screen, half press the shutter to lock focus, and then press record to start filming your clip. Filming children can be a real nightmare because they're constantly running about, and keeping them in focus can be so difficult. However, my tip for you is lock focus on them when they've stayed still, press record, and as they move about, move with them. Just make sure you maintain that distance, and that will ensure that they stay in focus for the duration of your shot. On the subject of moving around, we still want to make sure that the footage we get is nice and smooth and not too shaky. We need to think about the camera we're using and the lens we're using. If you have a camera with IBIS or in-body image stabilization, that's really going to help you, and you're going to get smooth footage even when you're moving around. If your camera body doesn't have IBIS but your lens does, you can still get some movement in your shots, but keep any movement quite slow and quite steady. It might be better to focus on pans and tilts. If neither your camera body nor your lens is stabilised, don't worry, you're still going to get some lovely shots, but try and avoid moving around completely. Stand in one spot, focus on composition and getting a lovely shot in that way, and try and frame a shot so the movement is inside the shot rather than the camera moving itself. Holding the camera to your face is another way of keeping things nice and steady and getting the best footage possible. Okay, let's now talk about filming in low light conditions. Micro Four Thirds cameras are often criticised in this area, but as long as you take advantage of any available light sources and make the best of the situation you've got, I've found they often perform pretty well. If you're filming in daytime indoors, the best thing you can do is make sure any curtains are open fully, any blinds are open, and try and make sure that all of your family members are sat close to these light sources, and you're going to get great footage still. If you're filming indoors and it's night time, the best thing you can do is switch on any lights in the room and any lamps, and again make sure that your family and friends are sat close to these lights, and you're still going to get beautiful shots in these conditions. Also, get creative when you're filming in low light. Whenever you're filming your family or friends or any objects in the room, try and look out if there's any fairy lights or candle lights in the background, as these, when they're out of focus, look really pretty and they're going to make your footage look really cinematic. Another thing you can try when you're filming your videos is to use some slow motion. I would recommend sticking to this only when you're outdoors, as when you're indoors the cameras might struggle. However, to do this when you're outdoors, all you need to do is change your frame rate to 50p if you're in a PAL region or 60p if you're in NTSC. This means when you drop any clips filmed in these modes into the edit, you've got the option of playing them at normal speed or at slow motion. If you have a camera that can film at 120, 180 or 240 frames a second, you're going to get some incredibly dramatic footage. However, just be aware that in these ultra high frame rates, your camera is not going to be recording audio with your video. Now let's talk about camera audio. All cameras these days have their own inbuilt microphone, which does a reasonable job in most conditions. However, if you're filming outdoors, particularly on a windy day, the audio is going to be pretty awful when you get it in the edit. One product that I can recommend is this here. This is called the Rode Video Micro, and basically it screws on to the top of your camera and it captures a really nice quality of sound. If you're filming in the wind, the little furry dead cat that goes over it makes sure that the audio is nice and crisp and it still sounds good.
There's one round there. Whoa!
Finally, when you're filming, get creative. Try and film things from unusual angles, like really high up or really down low, to get lots of variety into your final video. Filming from low in particular can work really well when you're filming children, as it shows the world from their perspective and it looks really good in the final video. As well as focusing on people in your film, make sure you get lots of shots of the environment too, and little details and objects in your scene. Another way you can get some arty shots is to film your subject with objects in the foreground and the background, as that'll add a lovely sense of depth. You can also look for reflections, whether that be puddles on the ground or windows, and shoot through those, and that will create some lovely footage for your video. Okay, so you've been filming and you've captured some amazing shots, you're really excited. What you want to do next is get back to your computer and download all of your footage from your memory card onto a hard drive. Once the footage is downloaded, you're now ready to start editing. The good news is there's lots of free editing software out there that will allow you to make an amazing video. If you're on a Mac, why not use iMovie that comes as part of the Mac OS? If you're on PC, I downloaded a program called Animotica, and it was lovely and easy to use and allowed me to create a great video. Open up your editing software and import all of your video clips. You now need to look through them all and decide which clips you want to use and which clips you want to leave out. Of the clips you want to use, you then need to trim them down so that you're only keeping the best bits. Try and keep your video nice and short, as I said earlier. Less is more, you want to keep it fun and enjoyable for everybody to watch. A great thing to do in your edit is to add some background music. This could either be instrumental or it could be with vocals. There's usually some really nice songs that come free as part of your editing software. Once you've finished editing together your video, be sure to export it at full HD, and you're now ready for putting it online. If you don't already have a YouTube account, sign up, it's quick and easy to do. Once you've signed up, click on the upload button and then locate the file on your hard drive. You have various options in terms of privacy. If you want to keep the video just for yourself and your family, make it private and only you will see it. However, if you'd like to share it with some family and friends, you can make it unlisted. It won't appear in YouTube searches, but you will be able to copy and paste the link, and anybody you send it to will be able to see it. However, if you're really proud of your video and you want to share it with the big wide world, you can say public, and then anybody will be able to see it and find it through YouTube search.
You cheeky monkey.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it's given you lots of tips and encouragement to get out there and film your own family videos. If you want to find links to any of the products that have been featured in the video, you'll find them in the description section below. And if you have any questions or any tips to share that you've found when filming your home videos, please post them in the comments section. Subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos, and I'll see you next time.